And a good evening to you. Welcome inside the Bottom Line. I'm going to go ahead and ask you, is it just me or is anybody else struggling with some sinuses right now? Mine are driving me crazy. I don't know if it's the change of the weather. It got cold, now it's warmed up a little bit, all the stuff that's in the air. And then one thing that I can tell you that is probably not helping things, we're dry. We haven't had any rain to wash anything out of the air or anything like that. So
it's been over a week, and there is a little bit of a flu bug going around as well.
I done had that.
Yeah, in the school systems.
Yep. And it's that time of year.
Yeah.
That's the other side of it. Thanks for joining us here on a Monday night. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to quit picking ball games because I suck. I'm just going to be honest. It's awful.
You remember going back a few weeks when we were talking about pro football, and I gave you all those statistics about these teams in the NFL, that there's just not that much offense. It's not. Some of these games are unwatchable.
Yeah.
These Thursday night games are terrible,
mm-hmm.
and they're struggling. You look at Aaron Rodgers and even Tom Brady. Those guys are struggling right now. Their offenses are struggling, scoring under 20 points a game.
You know, I've heard a lot of people say this, and I'll ask you your opinion, and especially Cal Hurd. And Cal Hurd is not an Aaron Rodgers fan. Okay, he doesn't like his body language. He doesn't like. He's very well known that he is not a mentor. I'm not developing young receivers, and that's all he's got. And you know, one of the similarities I thought between he and Brady is they both look a little disinterested, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, was I the only one that picked up on that?
No.
Did you see that?
Yeah, especially Tom Brady.
Yes. Yeah, he doesn't want to be there.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he's got things going on off the field. I get that. But he brought that on himself.
Yeah, he did.
Because honestly, I don't see where he has anything else to accomplish.
I don't either. He feels he looks to me to be disengaged.
Yes.
And he's yelling at his teammates, which is nothing wrong with that. But, you know, after a while, you look at the way he's playing, and balls are going in the dirt. They're short of the receivers, over the receivers' heads. He's not getting pass protection like he used to. He's not as quick in the pocket. You know, he's never had speed, obviously, but he could maneuver in the pocket, and now he just doesn't. It doesn't have the lateral speed that he used to have to get out of, and he's just, we've seen Father Time, as I said, I think I told you somebody, mm-hmm. Father Time's knocking at the door. I don't think anybody's answering yet. He's pretty close.
I think he's done after this year.
Oh, without a doubt. I thought you meant done right now.
No.
We're seeing it.
He'll see it through.
Yeah. Maybe. But if they keep losing, I'm not so sure. They play Baltimore this Thursday. He's got to come back. He got roughed up pretty bad yesterday by the Panthers. Defensively, got hit a bunch of times.
Mm-hmm. Lindsay says now Brady's just staying to spite his soon-to-be ex-wife.
That's no reason to stay. That's no reason to play.
Here's the deal.
She's be a general manager somewhere.
She's going to owe him alimony because she makes more than he does.
Yeah, I don't know. And that may be true, but then that's a selfish reason to do it, and I don't think he's a selfish football player.
Mm-mm. How about Aaron Rodgers?
He is a selfish football player.
Is he done?
No, he's not done. He's in a slump, in my opinion.
Yeah, but they don't have a way to. Well, I'm sorry, they're not willing to do what they need to do to get him out of that slump with the pieces that he would like to have.
NFL still got a trade deadline coming, so they could do something.
But I don't see the Packers doing anything. You see the Packers making a move? Who are they going to make a move for? OBJ's the only one still out there, and the last thing was he was waiting to clear physicals to go to Minnesota.
And there might be another team out there that's looking for draft picks that might want to deal somebody.
Let me switch to college football while we're on the downside here just a little
bit.
Lynch said Rodgers is also one who is hanging around out of spite. Yeah. Now that one I can buy. Yeah, I can buy. Surprised that Will Healy got the axe Saturday at Charlotte.
Well, the way they've been playing.
But last year he was
That's the year before, man.
Okay. The favored son. Going to be moving up.
Yeah.
And 1-7, and they
haven't been competitive.
In his 4th year, they're not going to be competitive.
Maybe they should not be in Conference USA. Maybe they need to be in the FCS level. But there's too many people.
They couldn't look in their self in the mirror and say, we're better than that. They don't have enough experience. They don't have enough experience.
When you say they're better than that, they'll
say those people, that fan base, those donors.
Yeah,
we can't go to FCS. That's below us. We can't do that. And when they brought Healy in, he came in with the same losing percentage that he's leaving Charlotte with, pretty much. It's pretty close. He had a losing record when he came from Austin Peay. He did some good things at Austin Peay, but he was like 15 to 24.
Yeah, I think his last year there, he turned it around, right? The first couple of years, they were like 1 or 2 games.
To the last year.
Okay.
I think.
He had one really good year that really put him on the map, so to speak. And then when he came to Charlotte, did that one good year, and that's been about it.
Let's see. I looked at it. He is 28 and 45 overall between the two schools. He went 13 and 21. Okay. His first year there, they went 0 and 11 in 16. He went 8 and 4 in 17. Then he went 5 and 6 in 18, and they hired him in Charlotte. In Charlotte, his first year, he went 7 and 6. Then he went 2 and 4 in the COVID shortened.
You know who we need
season.
to get on is Matt.
Swear it.
Yeah, we need to talk with him.
And then he went 5 and 7 last year, and then he was 1 and 7 this year. 15 and 24 versus 13 and 21. But the unique or unusual point, his conference record at both schools is identical at 10 and 14.
Wow.
How do you hire?
Well, isn't Austin Peay an FCS school?
I think so.
It is. I think it is.
He was Peter Rosamondo is taking over as the interim. He's the offensive line coach.
Well, is that a good job? Long term. Can they pump in money, pump in support? Can you get people from Charlotte, kids from Charlotte, to go to school there?
Let me give you the things that hurt them. Okay? They're not in the conference they need to be because they have no natural rivalries.
Yeah, true.
That's the first thing.
Yeah. I need to be in the Sun Belt.
They've tried to make up some of that with Appalachian, East Carolina, some of that. That's the first thing. I can't understand how they can't pull kids in because, to me, it would be easier to pull them into Charlotte than to go to Campbell and Bowie Creek. There's no nightlife. There's no, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Kids are looking for more than just to go play football.
Yeah.
They're looking for a city.
Yeah. Well, but then again, you look at major schools. Are they in cities?
But that's different. They're not startups.
Okay.
I'm just saying from a startup,
gotcha.
You've got some things to pull them into.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, who might be. You mentioned Campbell. Do they go after Mike Minter?
Mike Minter, they turned him down. He wanted that job before they hired Brad Lambert.
Wow.
And he had no head coaching experience.
Well, he's got it now.
He's still there. They hired him at Campbell, and he's still there. Was that not a startup program too?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a startup program. Then they moved up. They slowly moved up. They were Division II, and then they went as an independent at FCS, and now they're, I believe, in the Southern Conference.
Chad said Charlotte would be good in the Big South. They can't lower themselves to that.
Big South is getting ready to break up. They're losing Kennesaw State and a couple of other schools that are jumping up to Division I, major Division I, out of FCS.
Who is?
Kennesaw State and one other school that's in that league.
In the Big South?
In the Big South. So my guess is, unless I heard, you hear rumors, you hear people around, because I'm associated with LR, you hear people around Hickory saying, maybe LR ought to move up, all these nice new facilities. Let's move up to the Big South, and then if we do well, the Southern Conference will invite us. So unless if you're the Big South, who do you go after? Do you go after a Wingate and Lenore Ryan together? You package them? I don't know. I don't think either school are ready. I don't think they're ready for Division I sports, at least athletic-wise, across the board. They might be okay. They might be okay for football, but I don't think they can compete in all the other sports, or maybe compete in some of the Olympic sports, but not compete in the major money sports, is what I'm saying. But Charlotte's they have a dilemma. I mean, do they go after a name? Do they go after somebody that's an up-and-comer,
right,
somebody coming
stop
down?
Stop right there. Okay, stop right there. And I'll ask it like this. When Chad says LR will be up in 3 to 5 years.
No.
Maybe.
Not
all sports. They have to, Chad. They make a move, they got to take everything to FCS. They can't. I don't think they can go Division I football and leave everything else down.
Well, I'm trying to think. Ferris State, who they played. Ferris State's Division II, but they play up to Division I in a couple of sports, including field hockey, ice hockey, and one other sport.
Those are limited sports.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lindsay said, did you see the news story about Rule becoming the football coach at Gaston College? I think he can do over that. And Gaston doesn't have any place to play, so I don't think that's real.
How about West Virginia is what I heard. I heard Sean Clark's name, and I heard Matt Rule's name at West Virginia as candidates.
Why would Sean Clark – the way
I don't
Apps
think
played. Why would Sean
I don't
Clark
think he'll
be
leave. I don't think he'll leave.
Go back. Let me go back to your other question.
We're jumping down rabbit holes, huh?
It's okay. It's all related. You said, do they go after a big name?
Okay.
Tell you a story. Okay. My first year at West Lincoln, we were not good going into that. Dan Hardy, whom we both know, was head coach. He left 2 weeks into the season to go back to South Conwell as the AD. He inherited the football program the next year. When he left 2 weeks into the season, okay, we had no head coach. My ex-brother-in-law, who was in high school at that time, said, surely they'll go hire a winning coach. My response to that was, what winning coach is coming here? Why are they coming here? So that's my question I pose to you. What top-notch coach is coming to Charlotte?
Do you go get a coach who has been up to the mountaintop and is on his way down and wouldn't want to rebuild, or do you go after a young guy on his way up like Will Healy?
I think that's what they did with Will Healy.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't know where the issue is, because think about it. You've got 2 kids from Charlotte that are starting in the NFL.
Both for the Steelers.
Well, Obuchobi was not drafted there. He was drafted, I think, for the Browns.
Correct.
But still, they are playing, contributing members.
Yeah.
So is it a talent issue? Is it a coaching issue? I don't think it's a commitment to the program. Beautiful stadium, beautiful football facility, practice fields.
Got a commitment from the administration?
I think so.
And they're pouring money into it?
So where's the problem?
I think here's the problem, Lanny. It's called geography. There are too many schools all crunched together here in western North Carolina, or in the state of North Carolina, like a 100-mile radius. There are like 25 schools that play tackle football. Division I, Division II, and FCS. There's just too many schools. We're not out like at some other place where everything's all spread out. I mean, you throw a rock, you got Charlotte, you got Davidson, you got Appalachian, then you go into the ACC, then you got Division II schools right around. It's pretty tough. It's tough to recruit unless you have some stability, and they're just going through coaches.
Let me give you –
there are only so many good football players out there, right?
Right. Let me give you right here. Here's Conference USA. Tell me who they're playing that anybody wants to come see. University of Texas, San Antonio, Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky, North Texas, Mean Green. Back in the day, Rice, UTEP, Alabama, Birmingham, who they shut down and then brought back. Remember?
Yeah, and they got a good program right now.
Florida Atlantic, Florida International, Louisiana Tech, Middle Tennessee, and the Charlotte 49ers. Now, only the top 4 have winning records. Texas, San Antonio are 4-0. This is conference now. Western Kentucky's 3-1. North Texas is 3-1. Rice is 3-1. Then you've got 3 500s, and the rest of them have losing records, including Charlotte and Middle Tennessee, with no wins in the conference.
It's going to take a monumental task on somebody that's a visionary, somebody that's going to want to come and stay for a long period of time, that has ties to North Carolina, can't bring in an outsider.
And all of this, when this happened, the stepchildren went to the Sun Belt.
Yeah.
The Diamonds in the Rough went to Conference USA.
Yeah.
Now, look at Conference USA. It's flipping load. I mean, Sun Belt, it's loaded. Coastal, Old Dominion, James Madison, Georgia Southern, App, Marshall, Georgia State, Troy, South Alabama, Southern Miss, Louisville, Texas State, Louisiana Monroe, and Arkansas State.
Not Louisville.
Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana.
Raging Cajuns. But you take Coastal, Old Dominion, James Madison, Georgia Southern, App, and Marshall, those are notable names that people know.
Yes.
In the world of football.
Yeah, and they're regional too.
Yeah. And right. You know, when you get into the West and they finally split, App used to have to go to Idaho to play the
Idaho State
Bandits.
No, the Vandals.
The Vandals. Close. It's a Bandits. It's a Bandits next door neighbor.
Well, they went to Texas State, right? And they got beat at Texas State.
Texas State is still in, but Texas State, New Mexico State, they dropped back to FCS.
Yeah.
They came up and then they dropped back. And I thought there was one more in Idaho. I think Idaho dropped back to FCS too when they were in the Sun Belt. But there's no comparison between those conferences now. And then see Charlotte, before they got football, they were in what was called the A10.
Yeah, Atlantic 10.
Nobody around here. You had to go north. There were no natural matchups. You know, back when Charlotte's heyday with basketball, Bob Huggins was at Cincinnati.
Bobby Lutz, right, during his heyday.
And wasn't Louisville in that conference at one time? Back when Charlotte and Cincinnati and I can't anyway, there were some predominant basketball programs in there, but they have no natural rivalries.
Well, they kind of do, but they don't play them.
I'm saying conference.
Oh yeah.
They're not in a conference that's conducive. But I'm gonna be honest with you.
Then somebody
they would take a deluxe whipping in the Sun Belt.
A deluxe whipping. That's a good term.
Because they would be
maybe they
could they play with Coastal, Old Dominion, James Madison, Georgia Southern, App, Marshall, or Georgia State?
Maybe they need to go and find a consultant somewhere to tell them, hey guys, you're spending way too much money. You're spinning your wheels. You need to move down to FCS. Then you can go play Western Carolina. You can go play Wofford. You can go play those teams in South Carolina, the Citadel, Tennessee, Chattanooga. You got all these schools.
College of Charleston or Charleston Southern.
Well, Charleston Southern's in the Big South. But
okay.
But you still got more teams that you can play that regionally fit the model. But they would probably be one of the largest FCS schools.
When I was at ESPN, and I'll look this up at the break, it was projected that within 5-10 years, Charlotte would have the largest enrollment of any school inside the North Carolina State system. And I want to say that at that time they were only second to NC State.
And I think it's that way right now. It's pretty
close.
It's closer.
But it's close. Let me take a break. I'll look it up. We'll come back in a minute, and because I want to go back and look at some of those Sunbelt teams.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Sorry, we were playing numbers. Charlotte is behind, just behind
NC State.
NC State. Mm-hmm.
Now, as you said, they're narrowing. It's closer than what it used to be.
They're narrowing that gap, and that's what I had heard, that they were narrowing that gap. And so that's exactly right. Let's see. Angie said that was my thought too. Who would come coach at West Lincoln at that point in time? ECU and Memphis used to be in Conference USA, which made things more interesting. Chad said game day is going to Jacksonville State. I'm guessed Jacksonville State and Southern, not Jackson State, but Jacksonville State.
No, Jackson State.
Jackson State.
They're going to Jackson State. They're going to see Prime, Coach Prime.
I thought he was at Jacksonville State.
No, he's at Jackson State.
Jackson State. Okay.
HBCU.
Okay.
Did you watch him on 60 Minutes?
On the 60 Minutes, yeah. He's not well thought of by his peers.
What do you mean, his coaching peers? People within the business, you mean?
Week 9. How do I put this?
His contemporaries?
Yeah.
Okay,
He's other HBCU coaches thinking he's a little Uncle Tomish, I guess is.
Oh.
They're not happy. But
he brought a heck of a lot of
notoriety, and I'm going to tell you
attention.
something. I was impressed with the thing they did on him in 60 Minutes.
Yeah, they beat Campbell over the weekend, beat him pretty good.
But I thought, why would you be upset? Look at what he's done for those kids in that university and the notoriety that he's brought to smaller schools.
He said some things over the weekend, I guess, right before their game, and he was talking to his kids, saying, we brought you here. If you want to go and play at the next level, you got to work hard. Now that you're here, you got to set your goals. You want to go to the next level, or you want to get a degree. And he was saying there are going to be a lot of coaches. You want to go transfer? Go transfer. There are going to be a lot of coaches going to tell you a lot of things that they're not going to be real to you. And then he went back and said, when I grew up and I had coaches that were real, they said you can't play, you can't play. He said, now we can't say those kind of things because we hurt your feelings. And he was pretty real.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was impressed with the way he handled it. And I've never thought one time, the whole time he's been there, I've never looked at it that I felt like he was trying to pull the spotlight on himself. I've never really seen that.
Well, yeah. Maybe pull the spotlight on himself so he can deliver the message.
Right,
yes.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He is still about the school and the kids.
I agree.
He's not doing it for notoriety for him.
No.
If he's using his notoriety is to pull the attention so he can deflect it.
I originally thought that the reason he was going in there was for a publicity stunt.
I did too.
Yeah.
He's genuine.
Yeah.
Or I felt like he was genuine.
I agree.
And
the stuff other things I've seen about the way he's trying to coach, and of course his son's the starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. But I think he's being authentic and genuine, as you said.
And they ask him the question, what if a bigger opportunity comes knocking? He said, well, you always listen to opportunities, but I'm not sure he would be a fit at that level.
He'd have to he can't coach the way he's coaching right now. He cannot be as hands-on when you get up to the big time.
Right.
So he's going to have to hire some coordinators. I don't know if he has the coaching tree or the connections to bring in guys. Because if you bring in former guys you played with and professionals, they don't want to do all the legwork and the recruiting and everything that it takes.
Chad said, Liberty coach to Auburn. Chad?
Back to Auburn.
I don't think the SEC's going to let you freeze back in. I really don't. I don't think everything really came out, but he got in some trouble when he was in the SEC.
He did. Oh, yeah, and it wasn't about football recruiting either.
That's what I'm saying.
He was the Bobby Petrino of the SEC.
He never had the show calls leveled on him. That's what happens to a lot of those coaches. When you want to hire somebody, okay, you need to show me calls on why you need to hire him.
Yeah.
But he was right there.
Yeah.
He was close. Now, and I think, Chad.
But he's done a good job at Liberty.
Nobody's going to debate he can't coach his butt off.
Yeah.
It's just the other things that go along with it.
Maybe he is reformed. Maybe he has changed.
Maybe so. Wasn't he rumored to Arkansas last year before?
He's been rumored to leave a couple of places.
Yeah. I just Link said, yeah, but Auburn has a history too. But I know that. I know, but I'm just saying I don't – he may get another head coaching job at a bigger place than Liberty. I'm just not convinced it's in the SEC.
My understanding is Liberty's a really good job, right? Because they're an independent, they dump a bunch of money in the program.
I think the money he's done a great job.
Yeah.
They have great crowds.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I can't believe when 40 years ago when I was in school, we played them. They were Liberty Baptist
really?
College. Yeah, we played them.
I didn't realize they had football that far back.
Oh yeah,
I thought that was a pretty new football program.
Mid to late 70s is when they started up, and they played NAIA football. And now they're Major Division I.
And Lenore Ryan left NAIA when?
1992, 1993, somewhere in the early 90s.
And NAIA is still around?
Yes. Mostly in
we talked about that.
Georgia,
Midwest.
Florida, Midwest, Upper Midwest.
Yeah. What's comparable? Division III, Division II?
It would say lower Division II.
Okay.
Lower Division II.
So they
schools.
do have some scholarships.
Yes, they do have some scholarships, but it is mostly private schools. Yeah, I'd say lower Division II.
How do you feel about that? I'll ask you that question. Should there be, and we talk about this especially at the Division II level, should there be separate divisions based on private and public?
Yeah.
In high school there is.
Yeah, there should be in football, in FCS and in Division II.
Because it's hard for privates to compete with publics.
You can compete, but you cannot win a championship, and that has been proven. You go all the way back to 1973. Division II, I think it was Lehigh or Colgate, one of those two schools. They were getting ready to move up to the Patriot League or whatever league they're in now, but they were Division II back then. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Lehigh. It's a private school. They won the national championship. 1973. Hasn't happened since. Now, there have been private schools that have made the finals. Carson Newman made it a couple of times. New Haven up in New England area. Lenore Ryan made it. Maybe in another one or two. I think Mississippi College made it in the late 80s. There have been a handful, maybe half a dozen teams in what we're looking at, almost over 50 years, 49 years. There have been one championship won by a private school.
5,000 students today, undergraduate, at Lehigh.
Yeah. And then if you go up the FCS, the drought hasn't been that long, but there's only been a handful of teams that have won, that are private schools that have won championships. Maybe the last was Furman, back when Dick Sheridan was the head coach. That might be the last time that a private school won the FCS championship. Now, they've gotten to the finals, other schools, but again, you're going up against these big state schools that got 30, 35,000 kids, or in some cases, 15 to 20,000.
Now, Patriot League is Division I, but non-scholarship.
Yeah.
Right.
They're like the Pioneer League. They're like where the Davidsons at, and that kind of league. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I was looking to see if I could find exactly when they made that athletics. Here we go. They compete in 25 different NCAA Division I sports. But it.
You talking about Lehigh?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can go and look up Division II national champions, football national champions, and it'll go all the way back to 73. I think it's 73 or 72, something like that. But it's been 50 years.
Wow.
Only one school. Now, again, like I said, half dozen have made it to the finals. Carson Newman made it a couple of times. They lost triple overtime in one championship game, but it is rare. Nowadays, it's very difficult. I think LR was the last school to make it that far. And, again, you're talking 9 years ago. So they make the playoffs. They can get one or two rounds, but then when they get these big state schools.
That was in 13.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking. All right, Winston-Salem State, that's public, right?
Oh, yeah.
They Yeah, they made it.
They jumped up. The reason they got it, they jumped up to FCS for a few years, and then they decided, we can't compete.
Yeah.
So they jumped down and they were grandfathered in. They were able to keep their scholarships.
Carson Newman, private or public?
No, Carson Newman's private.
Yeah, they went 2 years.
They
98, 99,
Yep.
and 96.
New Haven was another.
97.
Okay.
They went. That's a private school.
That's a private school. Nor Ryan.
How about Troy? Troy was they won it in 87. Now they're in the Sun Belt.
They're in the Sun Belt. And 89.
Texas State was in.
Look at 89.
89. Mississippi College beat Jacksonville State.
Yes. Mississippi College would have won the national championship, but they were disqualified.
Yeah, they got an asterisk.
Yes. They won. They lost the game 3-0.
And why were they disqualified?
I don't know.
Oh.
But I have a friend who's now the offensive coordinator at Mississippi College, and they are a private school.
Lehigh won it in 77.
77, not 73.
They won, 77.
Okay, I was off. I was off 5 years.
They
I'm
beat
sorry.
Jacksonville State.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 77.
So it's been 45 years. One school has won. A private school has won a national championship.
All it says about Mississippi College's participation in the 89 Division II championship was vacated by the NCAA Committee on Infractions.
Yes.
No details.
Otherwise, there'd have been 2.
News at 11.
But again, that's a long time. That's a lot of football teams.
Lindsay said Lehigh, that's the school that beat Duke in the NCAA tournament, right?
Yeah, very
Only
good.
you would remember
Very
that.
good, very good.
I don't keep up with those details. Sorry.
Now, I know you. If you want to go down that rabbit hole, but FCS schools, again, it's very much the same. Furman's won a national championship going back to Dick Sheridan. There probably have been some others, but not lately. It's been North Dakota State, and that's it.
Oh, God, yes.
I mean, if you look at the FCS right now, the rankings, it's North Dakota State's not up there. It's South Dakota State, South Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, or something. They're like all 5 or 6 schools in the top 5 are all from about the same conference or the same region of the country. It's amazing.
FCS, you said that's the coaches poll.
Yes.
Is that what they go by?
Yes.
South Dakota State, Montana State, Sacramento State, North Dakota State, Jackson State.
Okay. Jackson State up to 5th.
Mm-hmm.
That's Prime's team.
I thought he was Jacksonville State.
No, Jacksonville State's
Jackson State beat Campbell.
Yes.
And now they play Southern.
Yes. Think Walter Payton's alma mater. That's Jackson State.
Okay. Holy Cross, Weber State, Incarnate Word, Montana, Delaware, the Blue Hens, William and Mary, Samford. No local teams in the top 25 in FCS.
Mercer should be right there in the top 25. I know they lost over the weekend.
16th.
16th.
Mm-hmm.
They dropped from like 11 to 16.
Others receiving votes, Furman, Davidson, and Elon got 1.
Okay. So if you're looking at like an LR to move up to the FCS level, they'd move into the Big South or the Southern Conference. You telling me they can compete with North Dakota State? I mean, why do that? Why put your in all the cost it would take in terms of scholarships and throw on the travel?
So is Elon in the Big South?
No, they're in the Colonial.
In the Colonial.
The old
they
James,
used to be in the Southern.
yeah, and they jumped up.
Okay.
Yeah, to the Colonial. They're in there with James Madison. The old Colonial when James Madison was in there.
Okay.
Richmond,
Towson,
yes.
Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Delaware, Albany, Hampton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, there's Coach Prime.
Coach Prime.
I missed this completely. Elon played Appalachian State
Earlier this year or last year?
1 year ago.
A year ago.
Yeah, they're saying a year ago. I didn't think so.
You're going back to Prime, and on that, I didn't realize he almost lost his life last year.
Yeah.
With those blood clots in his leg, they operated on him. Looked like they dug a trench in his leg. It looked like
I thought that looked bad too.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 toes?
Yeah,
Was
2 or
it two?
3.
Yeah.
2 or 3.
I thought it might have been diabetes, but you said it was clots. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me take one more time out. We come back, we'll give you a little background on the Lenore-Ryan game. Great to be back on the sidelines up there. We'll be back with more here in just a moment, I promise.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Fort Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Glad to have you here. Fort Rembert and I will be here in the morning, far as I know, and Wednesday is still up in the air. I know Thursday there will not be a show because I've got to go. I've got a doctor visit with my family physician to follow up on my little
episode.
Yeah, that's what everybody's calling it. Episode.
And 1 week, 1 week difference. You had your episode, and the next week you were on the sidelines doing a football game.
That's correct.
God bless you, my man.
Jack said I was tougher than a hickory knot. No, I'm just about half ignorant, I think, most of the time, Jack. Great time at, even though the Bears came up on the losing end, that was a pretty impressive team we saw.
Yeah.
Saturday night.
Two-headed monster.
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, Newberry. They had a quarterback and a running back. That quarterback killed him in the first half. Running back blew him open in the fourth quarter.
Didn't I hear Jack say like 240 yards? Running back had 240 yards.
244-some yards, and I think that it may have broken a Moretz Stadium record that was held by Maiden's own Bruce Eichard, 229 yards rushing, I believe. It was pretty close. But 244 yards for the Newberry running back, 200 came in the fourth quarter. He broke 3 runs that totaled almost 200 yards.
It got ugly.
It did, in a hurry. Bears cut it. They got down 17-0 at half, cut it to 17-10. Needed to get off the field, make a stop on defense. Next thing you know, boom, 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 3 plays, they're in the end zone. And then they played catch-up after that.
To me, the opening play, I never took the opening kickoff. I don't care if I was loaded on offense. I never took an opening kickoff because I felt like you could set a better tone defensively unless your defense was just terrible.
I think as Jack pointed out, and as we said on the broadcast, they came in here with the plan.
Yes.
A very aggressive plan, and they jumped on they said, hey, we're going to play you at homecoming, and we're going to show you we mean business, and they did. First series, right down the field.
Chad said, I pulled for Lenore Ryan. He was on the visitor side. He had told me he had sent me a text.
Great views over there. And in the sun.
Yeah, it's warmer.
Yeah, it's much warmer.
He said, but the quarterback from Newberry was fun. The game was in slow motion to him, and he never looked rattled. He never took his eyes off the downfield.
No, he didn't. He reminded me of a Kyler Murray.
Always looking for something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was almost as soon as the play broke down, he became very creative, found ways to either run. I don't think he was a great passer, but he was just quick enough and was able to scramble around and wait to the last minute to throw the ball and find somebody open.
How tall? Bob Duckworth said, how tall is Duke's coach? About Lehigh. Good to see you Saturday, Bob. Bob turned up right behind me when I was getting my pass. Bob said he's a 6th-year player. He knows their system, and he was a catalyst for Newberry's effort, in his opinion. You're right.
Yeah, true.
We'll talk a little college football here in just a minute. I don't want to get riled up this late at night. Bob said, if you're going to fight, get in the first lick. I always told my kids, you set the tone on that first play.
I had a high school coach used to tell me, this is 50 years ago, the one that got inducted into the Western Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame. He said football games are won in the first 5 minutes of the game and the first 5 minutes of the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
He said,
set the tone.
Set the tone.
Mm-hmm. Every time. I don't know what you want me to say, Lindsay. I guess you want me to talk about my Tigers. And in our little group chat we've had, I've expressed my opinions a lot.
No.
Clemson's not playing the right quarterback.
But they can't change now. It's too late.
Sure they can.
No. You lose.
In case you're going to lose the season?
No, you'll lose the players.
I think the players would play harder. I think you're going to lose the season.
What? They're going to win 10
games. We'll steer away from conditions since you have a
– What do you mean?
From Clemson since you have a condition.
How are you going to lose the season? You're going to play for the ACC championship.
They're going to pick up a loss.
Where? Carolina? They're going to play Carolina in the championship, in my opinion.
They about got one Saturday if they hadn't replaced quarterback. It was the quarterback. And you're not going to win major college football games with 170 yards passing
No, you're
and
not.
300 yards rushing.
300 yards rushing?
Yeah. Not going to happen.
So it's got to be
Just
the other way
my
around.
opinion, yeah.
Just the other way around.
They don't open up the playbook.
You just can't throw somebody that's a freshman in there right now. Not in the middle. I could see at the beginning of the season to build his confidence against some non-conference teams, but not in the middle.
I've been calling for this for a while.
But
this isn't just this weekend.
But again, you're I'm not.
I can
I'm
tell you. I
disagreeing
can
with
tell you the team, and I've said this before. I can tell you the team that's going to beat them in a regular season
in the ACC.
Mm-mm. Right down the road, final game of the season.
That won't have anything to do with the ACC, though.
But it has to do with postseason play.
If they win the ACC tournament or the ACC championship,
no, it won't be an ACC representative. Are they a top 4 team? Are they in the same class as Ohio State?
No.
Georgia?
No, I don't think.
Michigan?
Not right now.
Tennessee?
Tennessee's a team right now that's the hot team. And
Alabama's under Clemson. Tennessee's 6th. Clemson's 5th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they can play with them either.
I don't know. Alabama's defense isn't very good.
Okay. Clemson's quarterback's not very good.
Except for the mistakes that he made the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to put a true freshman in there.
My problem is if you've got a player that is limiting what you feel like you should be able to accomplish on the field because they're limited, or you don't have enough confidence in them.
They got confidence. Dabo's got confidence in him.
Whoopee for Dabo. Okay, now where's Andrew? Andrew, are you talking? Are you a ventriloquist? You talking for Juju?
No, I'm just saying he's the coach. He's the guy that's calling the shots.
I have a differing opinion.
I respect that.
No. I don't know it's as much as Dabo has the confidence as I don't think he can admit that maybe he made a mistake.
No, he did that already. He did that with what's his name that they put Trevor Lawrence in for. Ended up what's his name? Kelly. What was his name that transferred?
Kelly Bryant.
Yeah.
He did then, but he can't do that again.
No, he can do it again, but if he's going to do it, he's got to do it in the springtime or in the beginning of the season. He didn't do it in the spring.
He did, 2 games in?
2 or 3 games in, but not in the start of November.
But if you watch Clemson in the early part of the season, it was very obvious then.
If they had another guy behind him that had some experience and wasn't so green, yeah, I would agree.
How far ahead would you put Texas high school football in front of a lot of colleges? Not major colleges, but this kid was Mr. Texas football.
Yeah, he was. Then why has he waited then all year till now?
Because Dabo's hard-headed. You don't question Dabo.
I don't disagree that you need to make the change at quarterback, but I'm saying if you were going to do it, you needed to do it earlier in the season.
I agree. No, I'm completely in favor of that.
Yeah, but not now. Now, if he goes out and has another stinker, then okay.
Link says they're up to 7A in Texas now.
Yeah. If he has another stinker this week.
They're off this week. He's not going to have one this week.
Who's their next game they play?
And
maybe because of this off week, that'll give them time to work things out, and maybe they'll put him in, and they'll bench DJ.
Dabo's not changing.
We don't know.
I do. I'm just telling you, he's not changing. It's just not who he is.
Well, if DJ has another stinker and he's got to get benched, then that's it, right?
Why was this stinker not enough when it took that freshman to come in, bring him from 21-10 down
against an undefeated team
that was ranked 10th in the nation?
Well, maybe they'll have the old-fashioned, they say football's a meritocracy, right? You earn your playing time. maybe because of this off week, they'll have a quarterback competition. And
Dabo's already said he's his player.
but he didn't.
Oh, I tell you what, they travel to South Bend.
Notre Dame.
I got
next.
asked that question in the group chat.
Oh, Notre Dame.
Who would start? And I said
against Notre Dame.
Yeah, and I said it won't be the freshman. Might get pulled. DJ might get pulled, but he won't start. That might be your stinker. Now, I'm not as concerned. They got Notre Dame, Louisville, Miami. Louisville and Miami are both at home. You got to go to South Bend, and then South Carolina on the last game. South Carolina's surprising some people.
Yeah, they are. They sure are.
Not happy about that either.
It's good to have a quarterback controversy, isn't it? Our Steelers have the same problem.
I don't think there's a quarterback controversy. I think it's clear cut.
What are the other true blue Clemson fans, the people at Update Club and all those people? What are they calling for? Are they solid behind Dabo, or is there a groundswell of support to make the change?
Well, Andrew said he's 38-0 at home. He's 157-1 against the rest of the universe, and my whole thing is, and you brought up Pittsburgh. Cowherd said today he doesn't know what the Steelers' offensive identity is. Because they've got weapons. They've got some good-looking players.
All young weapons.
But they don't have an identity.
That's because their coordinator is terrible.
And Tomlin is a defensive guy.
Yeah, but they hired a coordinator.
I get that. But the plays still go through Tomlin's headset.
It does. And Tomlin's a wide receiver, though. He played wide receiver in college.
You keep telling me that.
He's got a wide receiver brain.
He's not using it.
Well, apparently he's giving it. Again, they got after this week they play the Eagles. Then they got a bye week. That's when TJ's supposed to be back, and that's when they're saying that they may make a change at the offensive coordinator, either delegate or demote him down and elevate the quarterback's coach, who's a older guy and a veteran guy, to call the plays.
I'm glad they made the change. The change need to be made with Pickett.
Oh, yeah.
You spent a first-round pick on him. He needs to play.
See what you got.
And, another thing that Cowherd said today, Pickett made some mistakes, but he made rookie quarterback mistakes. Not up to speed on the game.
Well, there's one thing. He's not gun shy.
He's 24 years old. He started all those years. He's got more maturity to him.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be fine. But does he really have an understanding of who they are and what they want to be?
No.
And because I don't think the Steelers do.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, that's
So what is back to Clemson?
Mm-hmm.
Who do they want to be? What is their identity? Is it give it to Will Shipley and put it in his hands a bunch?
Keep it out of DJ's hands. 2 picks, 168 yards, 2 picks. First half.
Maybe something will happen between now and the bye week.
But if I'm available to watch them, I watch them. I'm not staying home. I like much better roaming the sidelines than Del R. But if I'm watching them, I watch the restriction of the play calls because they won't turn him loose.
Maybe they know something that we all don't know, or maybe they know something that you know.
I think they know that he's limited in some areas. I think as far as reading the field and a little slower to make
decisions.
Yeah, decisions on his passing
downs.
Tree and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Kim's problem was the same thing. He didn't do well.
I don't think
he's got a cannon on him.
Yeah,
but
I don't know how complicated their offense is.
I don't either.
Maybe they've dumbed it down so much for him or to help him, or maybe it's always been that way. I don't know. I don't know their concepts. I don't follow it that closely. But from what I've seen from afar and looking at some of the highlights and the Wake Forest game, I remember, they're not asking him to do much. They're not asking him to read the whole field. They're almost giving him, go to the – if you're going to look right.
That's not – and I know he's not Trevor. Okay, I get that. But he's not even close as far as what the offense brings to the table. That's been my thing.
And again, because they switch it's part of its coaching too.
But those guys were inside. They were already there.
That's one thing to be a position coach. It's another thing to be elevated to a coordinator.
I get it. But you still have that familiarity with the players and their limitations, what they excel at.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I don't want to get all worked up over it because there's nothing you can do about it.
Is he better now than he was at the beginning of the year?
No. About the same.
Okay.
That's the other problem. And this is his second year starting.
Yeah.
You got to see growth.
Yeah.
Last year, and I'm not taking shots here. I'm just stating the facts, ma'am. He was going through some personal issues. If I'm not mistaken, I read his parents were going through a divorce maybe. There was some off-the-field kind of things that were kind of distracting.
Yeah.
I know he was too heavy last year.
He's dropped
dropped
quite
about
a bit.
30 pounds.
Yeah, 30 to 40 pounds.
He does run the ball more. Still, in my opinion, somewhat timid because he's not a small youngin'. He's a big kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big kid.
You're saying just take the training wheels off and let him play.
Sink or swim.
And again, maybe
don't you need to know what you got?
And in a year and a half.
And the part that bothers me is I'm afraid they know what they got, and that's why they won't take the training wheels off.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna go down swinging.
And maybe we'll see that change coming.
I don't know.
We'll see with this bye week. Did they normally have a bye week this late in the year?
They have to. See, Carolina just had one last week.
Yeah. I mean, is Clemson usually, is this normally when they have the bye week?
They have two.
Okay.
They have one early and one late.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Got to go. Nice jacket like that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
How about that?
Styling and profiling.
Showing Woo!
Did you like that at the LR game? Did you hear Ric Flair?
I missed that. I must have my headphones on.
Yeah. But, every time they get a big play or a touchdown, they play the Ric Flair.
That's nice, Bob. Bob said their job is to keep my blood pressure high. I do need to know at LR what's this at third quarter. What's that mean?
The jump around?
No, the players all do this.
I don't know. You
didn't notice that?
Yeah, I did. But then I saw the jump. You see the jump around, right?
They're Ernie wanted me to jump around. I didn't want to jump around. But the players all do this on third down.
On third down?
Yeah.
It's the money down or the money quarter.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's the money. They didn't do the –
I'm so old.
The money down didn't work for them in the fourth quarter.
I'm so old.
And didn't work for them in the first quarter either.
Yeah.
But the jump around.
Yeah. I didn't jump around.
And that didn't work either.
I didn't want to embarrass anybody. They finally got to feeling good about themselves, but it wasn't enough. They couldn't get momentum to swing and stay.
Yeah, they swung it, but they just couldn't hold on to it.
Not at all. All right, sir. Have a good one, everybody. I'll see you again in the morning. Juju will be back here on Thursday to join us in little tidbits of that information. Have a good evening. See you guys.